Hello, folks. It's always a pleasure to speak at this NIA SDC conference. I am Sandeep Patil, SDSM Master Inventor from IBM Systems Lab. And along with me is my colleague, Smita Raut, who's a Senior Software Engineer with IBM Systems Lab. Today, we are going to go through hyper-converged infrastructure for data gravity-driven edge computing workloads. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about edge computing. What is edge computing and what are the trends of edge computing? What should be the top takeaways for developers like us in storage? What are the HCI form factors required for edge computing? Attributes for HCI appliance for edge computing. We'll go into details of each one of them. We'll quickly take you all through a telco edge use case and how these attributes are applicable for this telco use case, and then subsequently a Q&A. So let's get started. So what is edge computing? Now, essentially, there are a lot of vendor-specific definitions of edge computing. So I thought we should pick up a vendor-neutral definition, which is from the Wikipedia. And I've just quoted the Wikipedia here, which says, edge computing is a distributed computing paradigm that brings computation and data storage closer to the source of the data. This is a very important point because as we get into data gravity and definitions of data gravity. Now, why do we do that? Because it is expected to improve the response time and save bandwidth. So as Wikipedia says, simply stated, edge computing is a topology and a location-sensitive form of distributed computing. A lot of people feel IoT and IoT computing is edge computing. No, IoT is just a use case instantiation of edge computing. Now that we understand what is edge computing, let's get into what does edge computing really enable, right? So edge computing enables faster insights and action. Now, how does it do? By running IT closer to the explosion of data, and it improves the speed of action. Secondly, it enables better data security and control. Now, how is that so? Because there's a minimization of data transport to the central hub, where in the typical model, you will aggregate all the data and send it to a central server. It's a minimization of data transport, which reduces latency as well as vulnerability because the data is not going to move as much as in a traditional paradigm. And it's going to enable continuous operation. Now, how is that so? Because edge computing allows you to run autonomously even when it is in a disconnected mode, because you are actually running the workload near the data and you don't really need a full-time connectivity with a central data center or central cloud, etc. So these are the important elements that edge computing is enabling. Now that we understand what is edge computing, let's move on to what are the trends in edge computing. As storage engineers, we should just understand what are the trends there. And let's start with data. And when there is data, there is storage, right? So data, there's an explosion of smart enterprise endpoints across all the industries that create massive amount of data. There's been a new generation equipment that's coming into the manufacturing flows, right, in the hospitals, in the healthcare industry, and all this is creating massive amount of data. I just took a number from one of the analysts which says 50% of enterprise generated data will be created and processed outside the data center, outside the cloud, which is actually enabling edge computing, and this is somewhere around 2022-23 timeframe. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is that this is all driving data gravity. There's a lot of data being generated, and you want to have the application move towards the data because data gravity is the concept where you move workloads to the data as opposed to in a traditional paradigm where you move the data to the workloads. So the trend is data gravity. Let's pick up what's another trend. Now, what industry is edge computing really impacting? Typically, people feel that it only impacts industries that make use of IoT, but that's not the case. Actually, edge computing is impacting across the industry. It is impacting industries which are leveraging connected experiences for their customers. It is being deployed by financial institutes which rely on distributed IT modernization. For example, they can finance a bank which is using an ATM where you have to do real-time diagnostic and trigger immediate actions, which is part of all folded into edge computing. Industry 4.0 that has been now started becoming ubiquitous is actually driving the new form of manufacturing and manufacturing processes that the manufacturing industry has to deploy and incorporate. And that's all driving edge computing. And surely the supply chain and the asset management, where we know that IoT devices are actually used for inventory control, etc., which is also driving edge computing. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is that there are almost all industry that is getting impacted by edge computing. Let's go to the other trend, which is distributed computing that edge computing relies on. So typically, the initial paradigm has been that everything is centrally computed, right? Now that is actually spawning, and it has gone to 100x, where distributed computing at scale has become the norm because of edge computing. But that also takes it further, because if you really understand that in edge computing, the IT skills that are available on the edge are not as much as those IT skills that are available in cloud computing or a typical on-prem or enterprise data center. And hence this distributed computing, which has to be done at scale, should drive autonomous deployment and management, that too at scale, which means you need to cater to low IT skills requirement. Also, to summarize, there's a massive scale, variability, and rate of change in deploying applications and workloads that happens because this is all distributed in nature. And this is the last trend, which is very important to understand. What is this trend? I took a snapshot from one of the IDC reports, which kind of shows what the organizations are deploying the edge infrastructure and where all they are actually deploying. So if you see the cloud edge data center, almost 25% of deployments are at the cloud edge. 15.88 as are in the co-location data centers. And Robo, which is the remote back office, almost 15%. Surely there is deployment on the embedded on device or on equipment, like in the ADAS use case where you have autonomous cars, etc., where you have to embed these devices, about 17 to 18%. And in the field, which means in a manufacturing hub where you have to have your equipment on the floor, say about 15%. And then we have telcos, which are increasing at 11%. So what is the takeaway? The takeaway is that the cloud edge, co-location data center, and Robo, these three combined are currently the predominant deployment areas for infrastructure and edge computing. The field location and embedded on-device deployments are actually rising. At the same time, telco is also picking up fast. Now, this is a very important aspect for us as developers to understand when you're going to design a system for edge computing. So what are the top takeaways for we, the developers, from storage when we looked at all these trends and understood what is edge computing? Number one, that the emerging trends and standards like Industry 4.0 for the manufacturing are compelling industries to adopt to edge computing. Also, the 5G network is fostering the adoption of edge computing. Secondly, we have seen that lack of IT skills at the edge, which should drive our design points, where we need to make sure when we're going to design a system for edge computing, we need to ensure automation, remote management, and a simple hyperconverged system. Now, why I'm saying hyperconverged? Because at the edge, you're going to have low IT skills. You're not going to have a storage administrator there or a network administrator there, or for that matter, a compute administrator out there. So it should be kind of a hyperconverged system, easy to play with, easy to deploy, but still you can run all those workloads and take care of these data gravity use cases. Which comes to the third point, where edge computing is becoming an epicenter for data gravity use cases, where you have applications being pulled near the data as opposed to the other way around. So what we need to do, we need to get a system where we will be able to place workloads closer to the edge where the data resides. Edge computing aids in faster insights. What does that mean? We need to have systems which can respond fast and are performance savvy. Edge computing is leveraging AI, ML, DL. All disciplines today are leveraging machine learning and artificial intelligence, and so is edge computing. But what that means, if I'm going to design a system, it should be enabled with AI accelerators. Edge infra deployments on cloud and co-location data centers and robo-location seems dominant from the previous IDC snapshot that we showed. What does that mean? This means that when I design an edge infrastructure, there are possibilities that more often than not, I will have a data center-like environment, which is very important to understand the cooling and the kind of equipment you want to, kind of infrastructure you want to make. But surely there is always going to be certain on-floor deployments of edge, which are going to have rugged requirements where there will be very minimal cooling that is available for those infrastructure. Lastly, edge computing workloads, they need for a distributed computing, right? And it has to support federation. It has to have hybrid cloud connectivity. And more important than not, since edge computing is emerging, it has to cater to modernized application, which means applications all built with container native architecture, all microservices based architecture. So Kubernetes like thing becomes a natural instinct for such kind of an new generation appliance if you want to build for edge computing. So what is the takeaway from this? The final takeaway is that we engineers need to build a consumable and a performance savvy, a full hyperconverged infrastructure, which means it should include server, storage, and network so that the low IT skills are catered to. And it should enable modernized application to run, which means a containerized set of application. It should have AI accelerators and a hybrid cloud connectivity. With this, I will hand it over to Smita to take you further in this particular presentation.
Thank you, Sandeep. Now let us talk about typical infrastructure form factors needed for edge computing workloads. The first one is a rugged edge appliance. These are hardened appliances with little environmental conditional requirements such as cooling or particular temperature maintenance or even space requirements. These are suitable for on-equipment or in-field kind of deployments, which are like factory floors or warehouses, distribution centers, banks, hotels, retail stores, or it could be anything. They come with compute storage and AI capability, but to a limited extent. The other type of form factor is a full HCI stack appliance for edge. This is also the focus of today's discussion. These are server class appliances that have some environmental requirements, like maintaining a particular temperature and hence the air conditioning requirement. It also requires some floor space. These are suitable for cloud and co-location data centers and remote back office locations. These are equipped with compute storage and AI capability that can be scaled. Industry deployments for edge computing need a mix of both of these form factors. Let us look at some of the attributes of full stack HCI appliance for edge. First of all, it has to be a turnkey system, which is simple to deploy, simple to manage, and simple to upgrade. It should have hyperconverged compute, network, and storage, which is all integrated together. And it should provide a modern user experience. The edge advantage it provides, it helps in addressing low-skilled IT staff challenge. You don't need to have an expert in compute, an expert in network or storage. The second attribute is a complete modern container-native compute and storage stack based on Kubernetes. Today, all the modern workloads are moving towards containerization and are becoming microservices based. This helps to embrace the open system architecture and app modernization in the edge computing world. The next important attribute is for the ability for the system to federate data across sites enabling hybrid cloud deployment, which enables use cases such as data consolidation, data sharing, data caching, and cloud bursting. In edge computing, where data sharing and communication with other sites become very important, this assists in workloads which required cloud bursting and federation like use cases. Now, all these attributes can be enabled. To enable such attributes, the typical architecture of an HCI appliance consists of computing platform with storage-rich servers that provide GPU support. It is aided with operating system environment, which is based on Kubernetes to enable container native storage and networking. All this enables application deployments, modern application deployments for IT, OT, and CT workloads. These can be based on containers or virtual machines. And to manage these applications and infrastructure, some orchestration, automation, and management is required. All this comprises of an HCI stack. Some other attributes that an HCI stack must have are optimization for AI workloads with the GPU support. This enables edge workloads to leverage AI computing for faster insights or for on-site analytic modeling using the production data. Another attribute is the ability to scale compute and storage as per user demands. It provides flexibility to grow the infrastructure based on the requirements of the workloads as well as based on the customer requirements. Then ability to have central cloud-based management of the system. This helps in simplicity of the management, again aiding with the challenge of having high-skilled IT staff for full-time on the edge sites. Security is an important attribute of an HCI appliance. Security is provided by data encryption and other requirements such as auditing. It becomes important in edge where most workloads are required to adhere to data governance laws and have compliance requirements. Then this has to be there has to be native integrated support for application level backups, not only just taking the backup, but also that can be targeted to cloud. Backup is a table stakes resiliency requirement for any workload, and that also includes edge computing. Let us take a quick look at a high-level telco use case that leverages full-stack HCI. The modernization of telco networks enables business transformation. Telcos today are integrating IT and networks, and they are also implementing automation and microservices-based models. 5G speeds enables communication with the premises where work is actually being performed. And this enables communications, these faster communication standards enables innovation that telcos can create along with enterprises. So where does the HCI appliance fit in for the telco edge? So HCI appliances can be placed at regional edge, which communicate with public and private clouds, enabling a hybrid cloud deployment. Network providers are looking at how they can bring in workloads into the network itself. This is what is called as network edge. This is also where HCI appliance can fit in. Clouds are being built by telcos for regional access. The value it provides to the industry verticals, which are smaller in size, that do not have space for a rack. HCI appliances also fit as edge clusters and gateways. Large enterprises that have IP connectivity to a cloud or centralized locations are examples of edge clusters and gateways. Some of the use cases that they enable are to keep data on the edge to meet compliance and regulations requirements, or to develop new workloads on the edge, or to move workloads from cloud to the edge. In the end, This is an overview of IBM's approach for HCI along with Red Hat. This offering is called IBM Spectrum Fusion, which is an integrated Kubernetes-based HCI system which is provided by Red Hat OpenShift, the Kubernetes platform provided by Red Hat OpenShift. It is a system for data gravity-driven edge computing workload that leverages high performance and highly scalable file and object storage with federation capabilities. IBM Spectrum Fusion is a consumable and performance-savvy, fully hyper-converged infrastructure that enables modern applications, AI, and hybrid cloud computing. Thank you.